right, NBL, welcome back to our Extra Point podcast here. As usual, I'm your host, Tom, and my co-host here, Project. How's everything going today, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. How about you?
Pretty good, man, pretty good. We're back here for another episode of our podcast, and, just a couple hours ago, we got the Super Bowl teams announced. Finally, Atlanta just beat Dallas to head to the Super Bowl, and we already had Buffalo there. So, what do you think about this matchup here so far?
I think it's interesting. I think it's going to be a really good game. Obviously, one and only as Falcons have had a really, really good season. I was, definitely deserved it. Played really, really well against the Cowboys in that last game as well. Dominated, in my opinion. But I think it's going to be really interesting. From the start of the season, the Bills and Bayou team, I mentioned it before, didn't start off very well, and he's kind of figured some things out with Tyrod Taylor. And, he has his offense doing some good things, but he's always still having some issues with his defense here and there. So I think it'll be interesting because I think the Falcons can really move the ball offensively, and I think their defense is pretty consistent in my opinion. And I know for you especially, I think our last episode, you kind of picked the Falcons to win the Super Bowl. So what do you think about it?
I definitely agree. I do think the Falcons are going to win. I did say they're going to win. And I think the main reason they're going to win is, aside from, the owners and the coaches here, the players in the Falcons are just more experienced in this kind of situation. They're veterans of the league. Whereas as you're looking at someone as, at the Bills, they got some veteran players, but they're a fairly young team. They really have to rely on Tyrod Taylor, who's a very inexperienced quarterback in his first year starting, and he's had a very good season, but you got to kind of question his consistency, and if he's going to be able to continue what he's done in the season in the Super Bowl. And I just don't know that he's going to do that. When the spotlight's shining on him in the biggest game of his career. But Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, they've been in the playoffs before. They know what they're doing. And like I said, they're just veterans, so I can't see the Falcons losing this one, not only for the sake of my prediction, but just because of the players. Let's talk a little bit about the playoff teams that got knocked out here. First off, Bomber, with the 16-0 Lions, I don't think anyone really expected him to lose the very first game coming into the playoffs. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I'll say that as well. Yeah, definitely didn't expect that. And not to take anything away from Ballers, he was a division champ. He did win the NFC East, so obviously he has a good team as well. It's just a little surprising that Bomber struggled as he did. I think the big thing for that Lions defense, especially, they couldn't stop the run. They were first in every statistical category, top five definitely in against the run. And not only was Romo consistent all day and extremely accurate, but they couldn't stop the running game either. So obviously you kind of put that combination together. Not only can you beat that really stingy defense of the Lions, but you can win just about any game. But that's definitely what the downfall of the Lions was. But I still think everybody's very surprised not that it wasn't the Lions and the Falcons in that championship game.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The Lions, by far, I believe, in most of the league's opinion, was one of the biggest upsets. I got to give a lot of credit to the Cowboys, who played very well, because it was one of those things where people were kind of saying whoever the NFC East team that makes it is kind of going to fade out as soon as the playoffs start, because for a while it was a team that could have been under 500 or 500 could have made it, but the Cowboys ended up finishing one game above 500 and making it in. But they made a great run, upset a lot of people's predictions and stuff like that. So it was a great game by them to beat the Lions, and like you said, that run game was just phenomenal. Running behind that stellar Cowboys line, you could put anyone back there, and they're just going to gouge defenses, and the Lions just did not have an answer for it whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, it's just anytime you have that type of consistency on offense, you can beat any defense. It doesn't matter who it is, how good they are. When you're clicking on offense, it just seems like everything else is that much easier.
For sure. So, the Super Bowl game should be getting played soon, next couple of days, and we're going to be heading into the off season as usual. Get the free agency, whichever one a lot of teams haven't, didn't make the playoffs. We're going to be looking forward to hopefully revamp that team. I know myself and yourself will be looking forward to that draft. We each have a top 5 pick there. Is there anywhere specific you're looking to head in this draft now?
I mean, there's 2 areas that I'm really kind of going to focus on. One is going to be in the secondary. I think the secondary played much better down the stretch, especially the last 5 to 6 games of the season. But I still think we need, if not a number 1 defensive back, a really good number 2 defensive back, just to kind of just offset one another. So I think cornerback is one area that I'm definitely looking at, and then I also need to help myself on the offensive line, get Derek Carr some help. Also, my running game was horrid this season. I don't even think I ran for 500 combined yards this season, which doesn't make it too easy to win games. So those are definitely my 2 areas that I'm really looking at, is on the defensive side at cornerback and on the offensive line as well.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a lot of teams. What they're looking for, I believe, is offensive line. So that's going to be at a premium come free agency and draft. And with some of the wide receivers playing as they did, I believe cornerbacks as well are going to be a big focal point. So I know a lot of teams, like I said, are looking forward to this time, as they've been sitting out for the past week or so, watching the playoffs go down. They're ready to get their hands into the free agency here and see how that works out for the team, see how they're going to improve on next season. So that's our take on the league here and what's been going down, and we're going to head into a new segment here, and it's going to be Tauts Take, where he's going to give us our take on what's went down in the league.
Welcome everyone to the premiere episode of Tauts Take. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the Miami Dolphins owner and also the owner of the Mexico City Jaguars. To start off Tauts Take, we're going to go to my division rival, the Buffalo Bills and Bayou. Now, Bayou is a great Madden player, don't get me wrong. He does find ways to cheese though. I mean, how can you explain having half of your passing yards, well almost half, 1,700 yards, to your tight end and running back? If that isn't cheese, I don't know what is cheese. Now, come on, man. You can do better than that. Now, what you need to do, man, is grab some wide receivers in the draft and stop cheesing your tight ends. Now, we're going to go from there. We're going to go to Denver. Oh, man. What a shithole that place is. You got Barkley running a dysfunctional team yet again. And the quarterback situation, you guys say my quarterback situation is bad. Look at his. He traded Brock Osweiler in the beginning of the season for pretty much Mike Glennon. He wasted his 2 trades for the same damn quarterback. And Mike Glennon threw 15 interceptions. Peyton Manning threw 25 for a total of 40 interceptions. Damn, man, how can you be so damn bad? Now, Barkley, it's not all bad. It's not all bad news for you. I'm going to give you credit. You did manage to win a couple games with that, so I'm going to give you an award. Now, this award signifies everything that you don't want with your quarterback. It's called the Guard Dog Award, or GD Award for short. Now, some of you guys may know GD as a real-life role player. So, this award goes to you, Barkley, only because, well, your quarterback play is atrocious, and hopefully this helps you to get better. But I have been hearing reports out of Denver that suggest to me the problem. Now, from what I've been told, Barkley takes his quarterbacks to the bar before the game, and he gives each of them a couple of drinks on him. So, Barkley, if that is true, well, 1, you're a fucking idiot, and 2, you need to fucking fix that, because you're never going to do shit in this league if you do that. Alright. Now, the only more embarrassing thing I can think of than getting the GD award is getting suspended off of your own clip. Right, ballers? You know what I'm talking about. The Dallas cheaters and ballers. Man, oh man, how stupid could you be? So in the beginning of the season, he records a clip, right, showing how he cheats with his middle linebacker running everywhere. He gets a warning. Alright, it won't happen again, right? So he plays me. Guess what? He records a clip, and he gets suspended for the same damn thing. Off of his own clip. How stupid could you be, ballers? You need to learn. I mean, I understand. The Dallas, every damn year, they find a way to cheat. They're the Dallas cheaters for a reason, I mean. What can you say? But ballers, I expect more of you. Stop damn cheesing with that linebacker shit, dude. Come on, man. Alright, from there we're gonna go up north to Detroit. The commissioner's home. Oh boy, where to start? The 16-0 Bomber. You know, I've been hearing rumors from the NFC North that I figured out why he's 16-0. Now, I'm not going to go start by saying even just because he's the commissioner, he controls the rules and shit like that. I'm not going to start making conspiracies about that stuff, no. But from what I've been hearing, he's been bribing teams that play against him to lose. I mean, that makes sense, except for one problem. Detroit is the damn poorest city I've ever seen. I mean, that place is more of a shithole than Denver is. But I figured out how he did it. You guys may remember, Barry Sanders signed urinals in the bathroom and gave them out. I remember that. So what I've been hearing is that he's been having his players not only sign urinals, but sign the chairs in the stadium and sell them to idiots that decide to pay a ridiculous amount of money for them. He uses that money to finance his stupid idea that, hey, I could just give out this stuff, finance it. Oh, and guess what? I'll give it to the teams that play me so we always get the win. We get to bribe them. It worked for how many games, Bomber? Because you went undefeated until the conference championship. And then the Dallas cheaters found a way to beat you. I give Ballers credit. He didn't cheat on that one for once. So, man, Bomber, you gotta stop damn bribing people. You know that? Alright, from there we're gonna go. Oh, this is gonna be fun for me. We're gonna go over to Cincinnati and the Bengals. Whew, where to start with Sonny? Well, probably should start off by saying, Sonny, congratulations on making it to the AFC Championship. And Sonny, congratulations for being a jackass. Now, some of you might recall that I was the co-host of a popular podcast called Four Verts. Yeah, I hope you guys know that. Now, Sonny, being the person that he is, he invited me onto the podcast, right? And it went very well. We had, I think, maybe 9 episodes that we shot together, something around there. But after we played in the Four Verts Bowl, right? Which Sonny hates to admit it, but I won that. He can't beat me when it matters. But after that, I noticed something with Sonny. Sonny got mad because he was in the lime shadow of me. He was playing second fiddle to me. I was the star of the show. And he really did not like that. He hates being second fiddle to anyone. So, the second I had to miss one podcast, I mean, one podcast for legitimate reason. There was one that I missed for other stuff, but one podcast, right? He found a way to replace me. Alright, no big deal, no big deal. But he didn't have the balls to tell everyone the true reason. The true reason that he replaced me as the co-host was because he could not stand being in my shadow on that podcast.
And can you feel the love tonight?
Everyone came to watch to see how I would fuck up, to see how stupid of things I could say, blah 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 blah. They all came for that stuff. And Sonny, while his ideas and stuff were good, they were pretty damn boring. But anyway, let's get back to the point here. Sonny and the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, what can you say? A great offense, a crappy defense? Give him credit. I mean, he turned Andy Dalton, the red-haired stupid ass, into a decent quarterback. I didn't expect that. Sadly, he's probably going to win the Super Bowl this year because the Dallas cheaters ain't going to stop him. So, we might as well crown him, and we're never going to hear the end of him. Oh, God. That's not going to be a fun day. And then finally, we're going to stop this episode after we talk about this next person. This next person has a tendency to take superstar teams and pretty much go one and done with them. Can anyone think about who it is? I'll give you a few seconds. Anyone? No? Nobody can think of it? Alright, I'll tell you. Jay Baston, the Seattle Seahawks owner. Man, dude, why can't you ever just take a normal team or a below average team and try to turn them into something? Instead, you take the Packers last year, you take Seattle this year, and you still go one and done every time you make the playoffs with either of them. Come on, man, what's wrong with you? If you're going to take that good of a team, how about you show up in the playoffs, dude? Well, thank you guys for listening, and congratulations to the Extra Point Podcast for having me on, and I am looking forward to working with them in the future. Peace out.
All right, so that was Tauts Take there, and he's an opinionated man. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. So, just one thing he did get wrong, as he had this recorded just a little bit before Sonny's game, and I'm sure he's gonna be quite happy that Sonny is not the representative of the AFC in the Super Bowl there, and it is his rival Bayou there.
But that is going to be all the time we have today. I want to thank everyone once again for tuning into our Extra Point Podcast. I want to thank Tout for coming on our show here and giving us his take on around the league. Also want to thank my co-host here, Project Fat, for taking the time out of his day to come and record this with me. So once again, you guys have a good one and tune in next week. See you.